Hello there, I'm Big Alias, and to be honest with you, I just got my camera out to review a TV show, Dune Prophecy. Why am I hiding this? I'm going to do the other review first. And I thought while I was here, I'd review something else. I'm going to review Red One, and as I talk about this, I'm going to come up with a score for it. Excuse me, because I didn't even think it was review worthy when I saw it, but I kind of do want to review it. I had a very strange experience with this film. It's one where I can't really quantify how I feel or why I feel that way, and I don't mean that in a good way. This is definitely a bad movie. It's not a good film, but it's not bad in the way that I initially thought it would be, or had even heard from other people. Obviously, this is the Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Chris Evans, Christmas masterpiece Red One. Where they go and try to save J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons as Santa. Every time I saw him on the screen, I just pictured his character from Whiplash. Just throwing shit at Chris Evans and calling him all sorts of slurs I'm not going to say on this channel at all. But yeah, I just pictured that character. But they obviously have to go and try to save him. Classic Santa story. That's a Christmas story, sorry. We need to save Santa, and ambiguously he's a real thing, but at the same time, like, it's kind of reality and all this, or whatever, right? At least that's what I thought. See, this film starts out like here in terms of like groundedness. So let's say like this is, I don't know, fucking Hurt Locker, right? And this is Enter Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, right? So Hurt Locker, Across the Spider-Verse. And Red One starts like here and then just goes like that increasingly over time, and just kind of goes a bit batshit crazy. And it starts out with like Chris Evans has his son, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm a loser dropout, but I'm a hacker and I'm a cool kid, cool guy. And eventually Nick Kroll's being possessed on the beach, and someone can speak through him, and it's I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. Touch me. I'm okay with like stories getting increasingly more crazy and crazy as things go along. I think Sam Raimi is tremendous at that. I don't think this is Sam Raimi because all you end up with is Whiplash. All you end up with is a sense that you don't know what's going to happen, and due to that, you don't really care, and you don't have like the energy and the impotence to grasp what's happening and follow along with the film, and so it just kind of is a nothing burger at the end, but in the worst kind of way, because a nothing burger that's almost like insultingly bad, but also this is and honestly, it would be okay if I liked the lead characters. I don't, this I don't get the Dwayne Johnson thing, like a lot of people. I don't get it. I mean, I'll watch his movies, sure, because he's in a lot of movies. And like with other people who people say similar things about, like Kevin Hart and what have you. I do understand how they can be annoying, but Kevin Hart can be tremendously funny. Dwayne Johnson plays a lot of like buddy cop characters. Zac Efron, Kevin Hart, now Chris Evans. And he's never likable, and I never believe that like he comes around to like the person. He's always the greater than now character. It's always the case. It's the case here. He can never be the like character who learns and grows and gets better. And yeah, that's exactly what happens here. And I just don't buy that either of the people like each other by the end or really care about each other. And that's in part because I'm not a Dwayne Johnson fan. I don't know where I am with Chris Evans, because to be completely honest with you, his performance in this film is dog shit. And I haven't really seen people commenting on this. His like Brooklyn accent is atrocious, and overall I just don't buy his character at all. It seems so fake, man. This is faker than The Rock's. At least like I buy The Rock's character because he just plays the same character in every film. Chris Evans, I don't know, man. I didn't buy in on that character at all. And when I think back to it, it's like his best film was probably Knives Out, and even then, just play dude in turtleneck. You know, I'm wondering whether Chris Evans is really all that great, and he isn't great here. Even Nick Kroll is, who I love and a lot of people love, underutilized here, and playing an act that, quite frankly, is not Nick Kroll throughout most of the film. Well, throughout most of his part in the film, so you don't get to experience Nick Kroll, which is what people wanted from that actor. And it's stuff like that, you know, like all of the little pieces, like bad CGI. There is bad CGI. A couple of okay fight scenes, but for the most part, kind of absurd and not very good fight scenes, honestly. And all of those pieces add up and connect themselves like magnets to a through-line narrative that is just bad and awful and off the rails, but not in a good way. And like I said, by the end of it, you're like, oh my god, okay, so first he's a hacker, and then Santa's real, and that's okay. It's a Christmas film, that's going to have to be the case. Santa has a bodyguard, okay, I can accept that. Santa goes missing, and the bodyguard has like superhuman strength, okay. The bodyguard has a freeze ray gun thing. What? He can like rematerialize things in a different state of matter, so he can take like a Hot Wheels car and turn it into a real car. Logistically, there are so many issues there that they're not designed with interior, but okay. Oh, there's a witch. There's like an evil witch, and she has the power to possess people. What the fuck, dude? And like I said, I like absurd films. I like films that like push it.
This with the explicit filter on.
I wonder what she was looking for. Holy cow. I'm okay when it comes to, you know, batshit crazy film, but it has to win me over. Personally speaking, I actually really liked, speaking of Sam Raimi, Doctor Strange 2, because it ends with him like being possessed by bats and becoming like a bat creature. And the reason I liked that was because like the film was charming prior to that, and this just wasn't. So ultimately what you get is a through-line narrative that is incomprehensible. It also ends with, by the way, a CGI fight with a giant, because why the fuck not? Bad performances, bad characters, unlikable characters, an unlikable cast, and it's just enough of a bugger of a film. I mean, this is not one I'll probably ever try again at Christmas. And also, it costs a fortune to make, and you would never be able to tell that. It does not feel high budget at all. But yeah, it's just not. It's definitely not something I'd recommend, and it feels like a complete waste of time. Even if you got Amazon Prime Video, watch After Christmas, super wholesome, beautiful Christmas film. Christmas Chronicles 1, fantastic movie. Home Alone 2, stop right there. So this will probably be the score I give it. And I think, honestly, I'm maybe being a little bit generous there, but ultimately it's kind of like a pointless. The review is as pointless as the film right now, because I've left it too late, and who the hell is going to watch this movie now? But yeah, I just thought I'd drop my thoughts on this, you know, make a video about it. So I'll see all of you bastards later.
The PlayStation's only $149, and you can also get leading titles.